This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. I would say delighted to be joined by Eddie Hearn, but first question, Eddie, how are you after that?
I've never seen anything like it. You know, I think just in 35 years of watching boxing, the most stunning thing I've ever seen. And you know, in a fight that I chose Kiko, one because he's a lovely bloke, obviously for our Spanish business, but because I knew he'd always keep trying. But what I was watching was a one-sided beatdown, almost like a mismatch. And I thought, I'm going to get a bit stickier. And then just the most stunning thing I've ever seen in boxing. And that's the thrill of the sport.
Before we talk about the fight, you look shell-shocked at the end of the night, Eddie, walking on the ring.
Because I've never, I mean, you know, when a fight is so one-sided, and it wasn't like, oh, Kiko looks dangerous. He was finding his range a little bit more, and he had a better round the round before, and he was finding a bit of success. He wasn't really landing anything of note, and it was just, again, just never seen anything like it. But that is the thrill of the sport. You know, a card that on paper looked like, okay, it could be decent, see how it goes, just ended up being one of the most thrilling nights of the year. With Terri as well, unfortunately, you know, on the end of 2 defeats, but just amazing.
In a perverse way, has it vindicated, you bringing Kiko, because you got a fair bit of jip for this card?
Yeah, but I can't sit here and say, I told you it was going to be an unbelievable fight, because it wasn't really. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to tell you that, but I knew he'd be dangerous, and I knew he wouldn't stop trying. He could have quit the fight, he could have got stopped on his feet, he could have just thrown the towel in. But I just said to him in there, he said, I could feel myself getting back into the fight. I said, yeah, but Galahad was so smart, he had his foot on. He said, yeah, but by doing that, it allowed me to stay in range. Right. He said, and I was actually quite comfortable. He said, I had a terrible start, I know, but whether he's just saying that now, but he never stopped trying. And that's why sometimes if you bring over a foreign challenger that you don't know about, you don't know what you're going to get. He's got bundles of heart, Kiko, and I knew he wouldn't give up, but Barry was dominating.
He was. The knockdown at the end of the 5th was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Did you think that was it, or that he'd come out for the 6th?
Well, the knockdown was heavy, and then luckily for him there was 5 seconds left, and that saved him. But when he went back to the stall, he actually looked like, you know, he was listening, and I thought, oh, he's okay. And I went to send a tweet as the bell went, and then I just heard, ooh, and I didn't even see it. And then I went back, and when I watched it back, it was a much bigger shot than the first one, I think. So I said to him then, I don't know, clearly you can't have recovered 100%, but even if you did, it was such a massive shot that landed. Unbelievable.
Have you seen Kid? Is he okay?
Yeah, I saw him. He's disappointed, he's frustrated, you know, can't quite believe what's happened. But also quite humble, you know, understands that's boxing. And it also shows you can never be counted out, you know, and the same, it's just like life. While you're on your feet and you're breathing, you've always got a chance. And that's Kiko believed it. He never stopped believing he could win that fight.
Rematch is an obvious question. Immediate rematch,
I mean,
Eddie?
we got, you know, obviously the way things work with our Spanish business, Kiko's with Matchroom, and you know, we can talk to Kid Galahad about a rematch and see what he wants to do. You know, I think at this stage it's just so shocking to everybody that you just need a few days to decide what's going to happen. You know, he'll feel, you'd probably say he was a favourite in the rematch, Kid Galahad still, but you also don't know how a knockout like that can affect you, because he's never really been hurt like that in his career, and he was out. Yeah. I mean, out. And you know, Terri Harper as well, same thing. You know, a star was born tonight with Alicia Bound. And I know Terry's probably, Steffi's a bit frustrated. You know, he said, oh, maybe I shouldn't have taken that fight. But you can't, you know, if you believe you're going to be the undisputed champion and you're the best in the division, you can go through challenges. But you know, Terri looked a little bit fragile, whether that was confidence, whether that was the weight, I don't know. And Alicia she preyed on her all week, you know, with confidence, and she'd come out firing, and she's heavy-handed, and it was a great stoppage from the ref, because she could have got badly hurt.
I was going to talk about that. There was some booing in the arena.
Yeah, because I think it looked like, if you weren't, you know, if you couldn't see Terry's face,
yeah, she was gone,
and you were from the other side, you know, she's gone like that, but she was out.
Yeah.
And it was very much like the David Price-Povetkin stoppage. And one more can be, you know, disastrous. So good refereeing.
Absolutely. Rest of the card, Eddie, anything stand out for you?
Hunt, great fight to start the night, and a good fight between McCrory and Dante Dixon, good performance. Billum Smith made a potential stinker okay, because he never stopped trying to knock Breggion out. He never stopped punching on the inside. He never stopped taking chances. So well done to him, and well done to Breggion, because he was tough as old boots. His ear was fucked from the first round. Good wins from Stevie Levy, Raven Chapman, Aki Fayeb. I thought Will Corley looked really good as well. Just an unbelievable night. Like I said, like on paper, you look at it and say, all right, could be a good night, and then you just think, you leave here going, I cannot believe what I've seen tonight.
Those who didn't watch it tonight will be on the DAZN app tomorrow already.
Absolutely.
So,
but how can you not be on the DAZN app? You're not being funny. You look at the run, obviously tonight. In a few hours, you've got Munguia against Rosado. Next week, you've got a World Championship quadruple header. The week after, you've got Teofimo Lopez against George Kambosos. The week after, you've got Devin Haney against Jojo Diaz. The week after, you've got Conor Benn, Katie Taylor, and lots of others. The week after, you've got Chisora Parker. It's unbelievable. It's the best boxing product in the world, bar none.
Two more quick ones on the card, Eddie. Chris Billum Smith.
Yeah.
I heard you say that you want the Tommy McCarthy rematch.
Yeah, his mandatory is Fabio Terci, which is a good fight, obviously with our Italian stuff going on. But I would also like to do the rematch with Tommy McCarthy. I thought it was a great fight.
In Bournemouth?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, Chris is desperate to do that, but can it headline? That's the problem, and the answer is probably no. So we might have to do a smaller show and break it up. I don't know. But I would love to give Chris his night in Bournemouth.
Yeah. One of the cards that you've mentioned, the Conor Benn card. No surprise that there's been a couple of clashes with the schedule.
Yeah.
You've got a Probellum show up our neck of the woods.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You've got Eubank Williams in Cardiff.
Yeah.
Can you convince anybody watching this why Conor Benn and Katie Taylor's want to watch?
Because our shows are always different class. Conor Benn is a superstar at the moment. He's the young British star that everybody wants to watch. He's so exciting. He takes a big step up in a 50-50 fight against a former world champion. You've got the biggest star in female boxing in a really tough fight against her mandatory Sharapova from Kazakhstan. She's a huge star over there. It's a similar fight to Baumgardner, to be honest with you. We've got Jordan Gill fighting for the European title against Gurphy. We've got Peter McGrail, Callum French. I've got 3 more championship fights to be added. Which is our show's
Can you tell us what level championship? Europeans?
I think one domestic title and 2 intercontinental titles, but big names. I mean, you make your pick. It's not. Look, Eubank Williams is a good fight. The Pro Bellum show is a good show. Like, it doesn't really matter. You just do your own thing. You can't worry about other people. But our track record is second to none. We're proven we're the best in the game. And those, listen, all 3 of those shows have got to happen first. The way this game works, who knows? So we'll see on the night.
With the schedule getting congested like that, Eddie, does that put more emphasis on the likes of yourself and other promoters to work together?
It's always been that way, mate. You're never going to change it. A lot of the times, sometimes people make moves to block. I said to someone, you just got to have done that deliberately to you. So maybe, but I don't think so. Maybe they could only get a venue on that day. It's happened to me before. And ultimately, you have to go on a date. You can't go on that date. You can't find a venue there. And you've got to do what you've got to do. So you just worry about yourself. And listen, I know it's frustrating for fight fans because they want to watch a card, but at least you've got so much boxing.
Is it frustrating for you, Eddie? Because you had a clear run on that day and then 2 shows get announced. How do you react to that?
Because you just work to make the show bigger, give more value for money and say, this is the show in town. We are the best at what we do. We've sold 5,000 tickets already. We'll have 8,000 sell out on the night, or 9,000 or whatever it is. And we've got the biggest stars in the sport in an unbelievable night of boxing. And anyone else can do whatever they want to do, and then realise we're numero uno, baby.
Last one, Eddie. What does Eddie Hearn do after a night like that? Because you've lost 2 champions tonight, haven't you?
We haven't. We've also gained 2.
Yeah.
So, but it's not about losing champions, gaining champions. It's about being gutted for people that you work with and care about. And Terri and Steffi, that we're close with. They mean a lot to our company. And Kid Galahad as well. I'm a big admirer. So. It's just boxing, mate. It's the brutal world of boxing, and tonight 2 people have changed their lives and 2 people walk away devastated. But they'll come again, and there'll be ups and downs along the way for all of us.
Absolutely. Setbacks make for comebacks, Eddie.
Absolutely.
Lovely to speak to you again.
Cheers,
Thanks for your
mate.
time, Eddie.